recognize the gentleman from New York, Mr. Molinaro, for 5 minutes of questioning.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Mr. Secretary. I was happy to have you visit the east part of upstate New York's 19th Congressional District. I'd welcome you back to the west part of upstate New York's 19th Congressional District. Cornell, Ithaca, and a lot of rural communities would love to have you visit. You know, I come from a local government background, and I continue to hear from municipal leaders and community leaders about the lack of access to technical assistance for rural development grants through the USDA. You kind of addressed this, I think, in a good-natured way. I'd like to return to the question, though. By nature, rural development grants are intended to support rural communities, and of course, in many cases, they don't have the technical expertise or the staff or even the time to fulfill those grant application requirements. So right now, the USDA, as you know, continues to announce new pools of funding available for everything from energy to infrastructure, manufacturing, and beyond. But the fundamental problem still exists. I think you recognize this. Small municipalities and farmers don't have the capacity to access these programs. And sadly, funding is being distributed unevenly and in many ways inefficiently. Could you discuss with us why would USDA announce new initiatives, some authorized, some not, without having the capacity to assist farmers and municipalities, and how might that be remedied?
Well, with due respect, Congressman, I don't think that's accurate. I think we have invested in through expanded cooperative agreements and contracts with a number of organizations and entities that are helping farmers and all across the country being able to access programs and assist them in basically applying for programs.
Yeah, I don't think that this is anecdotal. It's certainly not in New York. Farmers have consistently seen the inability to access that technical assistance.
We've got literally over 100 organizations that we're contracting with on the NRCS, 30 organizations that we're contracting with FSA. So the assistance is there and the help is there. We're also, as part of a number of the new initiatives, we have set aside, as I said earlier, a series of resources to be able to provide for technical assistance. And plus, I was a mayor of a small town, so I came from a local government background also. And what I do know is that many states have regional economic development councils of government, that provide that service. I'm surprised that New York doesn't have those kinds of regional local government assistant programs to basically help with the grant writing. Have you, I mean, I don't know, I can't imagine that New York doesn't have those.
New York does not have an institution for municipal assistance when it comes to grant writing, but I'm heartened to hear that you don't believe there's additional need to meet those new initiatives. I just would say again that without question, farmers and communities have consistently said this to me, certainly now in this role, but I experienced it as a county executive and village mayor myself.
We should also say we're simplifying the process. We've cut the application process, for example, for loans in half. We've created a loan assistance program. We're using technology in our website to maybe make it a little bit easier. So we have simplified the program.
I appreciate that. I would encourage then the continued earnest look at making those greater efficiencies, and certainly we'll communicate where we think in the state, certainly in New York, there are some concerns. I did want to ask at least one other question. One area of obvious concern for us in upstate New York is as it relates to our dairy farms and fair milk pricing. With the recent conclusion of the FMMO hearing, farmers are anxiously waiting for a final determination from the USDA, with some optimism that the Class 1 mover will be restored to the higher of the pricing system. Can you provide to us any insight as to the next steps for the USDA and estimated timeline for a decision announcement?
An analysis of over 12,000 pages of transcript, hundreds of exhibits, needs to be analyzed and reviewed by their folks at USDA and the economists and so forth at USDA. That's going to take some time, but our expectation is that we're going to try to get this done this year.
So your estimation is sometime is within the next 10 to 11 months?
Sooner than that, probably.
Okay. I certainly would follow up as it's of concern to obviously many farmers across America, but upstate New York struggling in this space as well. With that, I'll submit some additional questions, Mr. Secretary. Again, we have an open invitation to visit the west end of upstate New York. The folks at Cornell would love to see you.
Thank you.